Hi, and a very warm welcome to Frugalfull. My name is Lara, and this is a frugal living and budgeting channel. On the day I'm filming this, it's Maybon, otherwise known as autumn equinox. So in this part of the world where I am in Scotland, it's officially autumn, and wanted to send you autumn time blessings. Wherever you are in the world, I don't know what season it is, but I hope the weather's being good to you and you're enjoying the seasons. Beautiful thing to help us feel grounded and slow down in our busy lives. So I really love autumn time, and there are so many wonderful things to do to celebrate autumn. Such a beautiful season. So I have a video coming up soon where you'll hear me talking about this. But letting go of things in the form of decluttering, for example, is a really, really positive thing that I enjoy doing at this time of year. It just feels like a very natural thing to be letting go of things that no longer serve us and taking stock of what we do have in life that we value, and that kind of helps us curry in to get cozied in preparation for winter. So today is a Sunday video, which means it's a batch cooking video, which means that I'm going to be enjoying making some tasty delights with you later in the video. Autumn is a time of gathering and a time for harvest. So I have some things to show you. I'm going to turn the camera. So these are the food for the adorable vegetable people who you see at the end of my videos. Technically, they're actually erasers, or as we call them in the UK, often rubbers. So these are I bought these in Tokyo Narita Airport before I flew back home last year. Boo-hoo, I didn't want to leave. I love it there so much. But yeah, I think they're so awesome. They're really detailed for rubbers. And they're different kinds of sushi, and these ones are different kind of sweet treats. There's dango, there's, oh gosh, I'm trying to think the names of them all. There's little pancakes, there's some green tea, there's mochi, and what are these called, these ones here? What are they called? It might come back to me, but they are incredibly delicious. If you're ever in Japan and get a chance to try one, I highly recommend it. So I just think they're very cute and sweet, and they look very cute and sweet as food for these guys who are now dust free. Aren't they just the sweetest? There's a mushroom guy, very appropriate for autumn. And you can probably hear Bella's timer clicking in the background. Apologies. Oh, look at them, they're so sweet. Right, here's the other group of guys. And on the subject of onions, when food is brought in, it's a pity to waste. So what I do these days is I chop and freeze my onions, and I peel and freeze my garlic, because I am a garlic fiend. Onions are just such an important staple in a lot of things I love to batch cook. And I'm going to add a very adorable picture of a man who loves his onions too, coming up just now. So I'm going to chop and freeze and peel and freeze these things. And then let's get to the allotment. I'll go and do a bit of harvest gathering, and then we can do some batch cooking. Let's do this. Hi again. Just before I do all that as well, oh, wobble wobble, sorry. Just before I do that, I just wanted to say that at this time of year, usually I love to make a beautiful autumn display. I like to have a wee space in my home where I do some kind of seasonal display. So for example, last autumn I did one that you'll see round about here now. But this year I've been busy with other things and the time's just gone so quickly. So I'm probably not going to do that this year, but I'll do other things to celebrate for this season instead. And it'll be great to share that with you. So for example, there'll be things like decluttering clothes and switching over from kind of summertime to autumn winter stuff. So looking forward to sharing that with you in a video at some point very soon. There'll be more allotment time, seasonal preparations for the winter and closing down things at the allotment. I've been a bit out of action there, so it'll be more like just general weeding, maintenance and that kind of thing. Not at the moment though. My focus right now will be harvesting whatever I'm able to, and then it will be tidying and cleaning the polytunnel space, because unfortunately I didn't really get the use out of that this year because with my arm injury I've been a bit out of action. So anyway, without further ado, let's get on and get chopping, freezing, and then get to the allotment. See you there. I was too late for the berries, unfortunately, but I got a decent amount of rhubarb, and look at all these amazing apples. Yum! Some had fallen, unfortunately, but I find that always happens every year because this is a small tree and it always has a high number of apples growing on it. There's still a few left, so in a week or so I'll come and get the last ones. But this is the main glut, and I'll do some baking and things with them once we get back. See you back home. I've given the polytunnel space a wee clean as well. Sadly, I haven't had a chance to do much. It's looking a bit empty and sorry, but I have munched quite a few delicious cherry tomatoes today while I've been tidying. And I think these 3 tomato plants have still got a little bit of life left in them, so I'll keep them going for a wee while. No idea what these are. I'm going to just try and revive them. If I looked on the PlantNet app, I'd probably be able to see what they are, but to be honest, I think whatever they are, it's probably far too late in the growing season for them, but I might as well see if I can revive them. But that's pretty much me going to be winding down for the year in this space. I didn't really accomplish a lot here because I had other priorities I had to juggle. So I think I'm just going to do it on a smaller scale going forward. Just have a few major things, a few tomato plants, maybe a pepper plant. Look at that, isn't that amazing? But just a few small things and prioritize that, because I was trying to grow lots and lots of different little things and then transplant. I was a little bit surprised, aren't you, cheeky girl? Belle. Because look what's in here. Ah, wow. I don't know what I'm going to do with all those. So many apples, wow. And then there's the rhubarb. I've washed that and I'm just drying it. And then in here there's another surprise. Wow, look at them all. Wow. I've got a 2-week supply of apples right here. 1 apple a day keeps the doctor away, as they say. So yeah, look at them all. And then I got 2 beautiful leeks as well from the communal bit. So I'm going to make something delicious with those. My plan of action is to chop the leeks and freeze them. I've got some in here with some pasta. I'm just going to boil it up and then I've got a supply in the fridge for this week. I might have a wee bit with some dinner as well. That's in the air fryer. Some of these I think I'm gonna oh gosh, I can't decide what to do with them. I might make a sauce out of some. I'd like to make a crumble. Some I'm thinking of chopping and freezing as well. I'll let you know shortly. So this is where I'm at now with the apples. There are lots of them. Hi. Yes, the camera's running, it's working. Yeah, so there are many, 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 many apples. I'm like, wow. A tree's worth of apples, apart from the ones that were lost, because it's a wee tree with many apples, so sometimes some fall and they end up getting eaten by the beasties before I reach them, but did a decent haul of apples from the tree at the allotment. There will be much applesauce made and frozen. The plan is also, well, I'm not 100% sure yet what the plan is, but you'll soon find out, and so will I. First of all, what I've done before when I've made wee apple crumble muffins is I've used these cases, but the liquid kind of all smushes down and they start to sink and spread out, and then I don't want it to end up being a big mushy, smushy thing in the bottom of the air fryer. But I might be able to do like a double thickness or something. No, I don't think that's going to make much difference. So I'll probably scrap that idea. So yesterday Mum visited and she helped me with some apple prep. Thank you, Mum. And she also has lent me these silicone cases. Now, in an ideal world, I was hoping to try and get my hands on some silicone, just like regular paper cases, like fairy cake cases made of silicone. Can't find any in any of the local shops, but my mum's kindly lent me these. They're actually like wee mini bund, like there's the little bit there, but I don't know, they don't sink as low as the paper ones. So I might try a few like this out of curiosity and see what happens. If there's a bit of like sunflower or olive oil spray just to inside, a wee squish to line it, hopefully then the cake would come out clean and they could be quite cute, like wee mini, they'd like look like wee mini bund cakes. Might give it a shot. quite a few there, so that could be quite a good way to use up some of the apple mix. And also I've managed to get my hands on a couple of these little cake pans. They're actually designed for air fryers, which is amazing. There was like a single bigger round one, but I like these because I could use these for banana bread as well. Air fryer banana bread. I love making banana bread to use up leftover bananas. Actually, there's two there that are on the verge of turning that could get utilised. So there'll be some different forms of baking, and it will probably be crumbly type things. Maybe as a cake or a loaf, or some kind of cake or loaf with the banana. There's also a load of frozen rhubarb. I've got a huge glut of frozen rhubarb, so I may do a combination of some apple and rhubarb, and some apple on its own, and maybe some banana related stuff. I have butter, I have sugar, I have flour, eggs, cinnamon. Oh yeah, both plain flour and self-raising. I have vanilla extract and any other spices, like kind of sweet food cooking spices, castor and brown demerara sugar. Many apples, rhubarb and bananas. So between all of that stuff, there should be enough to make some decent baking, nice sweet treats. So I'm going to be going to a Macmillan coffee morning this week. And yeah, I want to be able to bring some baking along to that as part of our fundraising activities. So it will be apple related things. So watch this space. Off I go. Once I've consumed my coffee, off I go, and I'll get baking and I'll bring you with me. And we can do a wee taste test together at the end. So it'll probably be Speedy Lara for a while, and I'll see you shortly. Bye. Welcome back. I am suffering from a thing I never knew existed, and it's called apple fatigue. I'm going to count up the apples and let you know in a second. Oh my god. But first, let me show you what I've been up to. I'm going to turn this round. So I turned the camera around, and then I realised I've been blathering away to myself without filming. Oops. So anyway, I've had a chance to count the apples now. So, first of all, we've got 8 apples that I'll be using to make the muffins. 8 apples, 4 so far, and these 4 will have been used to make the apple and cinnamon loaves. So 8 apples will make 4 loaves. I'm really pleased with how this is turning out. That's loaf number 1 of 4. It's going to take quite a bit of time, but it'll be worth it. And then, so we're at 16 so far for the muffin apples, and for the bread apples. 2 more, which brings us to 18 so far for these apple ring thingies, which I did a trial of already, but I'll do it again because I wasn't filming. And they taste lovely, but they're soggy, and to be honest, as a snacky thing, it's going to be too much hassle. I thought maybe dehydrated apple rings could be a good healthy snack, but I think they're very energy intensive of air fryer use to get the result. It's probably not really worth it from a frugality point of view and a time and effort and energy point of view. What's really handy is today my energy provider, they do a special deal at the weekends where it's cheaper to use electricity. So thank goodness, because this is going to all take quite some time and it will help keep the costs down a wee bit, which is really good. So the applesauce is getting there. It's coming along gradually. I'm just very slowly reducing it down. I don't want it to burn because that would spoil the flavour. So I've used a grand total of 18 apples to make this big load of applesauce. I still don't actually know how on earth I'm going to store it. I'm hoping that if I portion it out and freeze it, I'll find a way. But it's going to be a beautiful addition to things like maybe ice cream or custard, or maybe as part of recipes. So it's a good use of those lovely apples. So that brings us to a total of 36 apples so far. But as I say, I'm suffering from apple fatigue right now. It's taking a lot of the days. I decided to crack open a wee beer because we're now at lunchtime. So I'm like, right, I will have a wee beer and some lunch while I'm doing this. So it's worth putting in the effort because I'm going to have such a high yield of beautiful apple related goods. But I've never tried to do anything with this many apples before in my life, and now I realise why it's not the most straightforward, but I'm glad to be rising to the challenge. So there's now also 19 apples in here, bringing it to 55 apples. I'm still to decide whether I'm going to try and do something with these or whether I'm going to just freeze them, if that's something I can do. If I can't, I'll just have to make loads of sauce and share it with everyone I know. So I'll come back at the end of the video and let you know what I did with these 19 apples. Also, I'll show you these when they're made, and we'll do taste tests for muffins, for the bread, and a wee bit of the sauce. And if these get made into a fourth kind of thing, then I'll show you that. We'll not do any more with these because they'll have already been munched, and you've heard me talk about that. See you soon. Right, cheeky Bella. Oh, hello, I'm back. The apple batch cooking marathon with the 55 apples is finally over. Come on, you. Come on, cheeky girl. Oh, I know you're not going to be happy. Here she is. Here's the gorgeous girl. Yep, the batch cooking madness is over. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of hating apples right now. I'm sick and tired of blooming apples. Anyway, I have an assortment of apple goods to do taste tests here with you. Those dehydrated apple rings I tried earlier, the verdict was if I was willing to cook them for longer, to totally dehydrate them so they were crunchy, they could be quite good, but it would take far too long, too energy and time intensive. It's not really a priority for me. I'd rather have other apple-y things. What will I show you first? Right, I'll show you, first of all, the sauce. So this is just a wee bit of the applesauce that I made. I've got about 1.5 times this again in another jug in the fridge. Oh, she's having her late lunch. Goodness knows how I'm going to store all this stuff. I'll probably end up freezing most of it. Oh wow, even though I'm sick of apples, I have to admit it tastes amazing. See, for when I'm not sick of apples anymore and I'm looking for something to have with a bit of ice cream, oh, that is going to just hit the spot. Perfect. Now, these are, I don't know if they're going to be that great, to be honest, but we'll find out. They're supposed to be apple muffins, but I don't know if I'm that mad about the texture. Well, I think they're so-so. They're not my favourite thing, to be honest. They're, I mean, I'm quite happy with them as an easy, reasonably, leave the box alone, Bella, as a reasonably healthy snack. I'm quite happy to munch them, but they're not of a standard I want to take to the coffee morning. I think I've got some, excuse me, madam, away you go. She's stopped now, the little bism. She's a cheeky bism, which means pest. So yeah, I'll eat these myself. They're edible, but they're not the greatest. They've turned out totally different to when I tried to make crumble before, and I made the rhubarb and apple crumble muffins. I was really happy with those. I've still got some of them in the freezer, so I might take some of them to the coffee morning, but I'll also take either 1 or 2 apple loaves that I've made, which are these. So this is a slice of apple bread. I'm really happy with the consistency. The loaves, I have 4 loaves. The loaves have turned out beautifully. So let's see what that tastes like. I'm loving the texture. To me, that looks just how it should. Let's see what the flavor's like. That's more like it. That's definitely much more like it. In fact, I really love that, and I would very happily make these again in the future. Rather than banana bread, I just did apple and cinnamon bread. But I might... Okay, so what I did is I had 15 bananas left. Not bananas, oh my gosh. See, I'm desperate for a break from apples now. I had 15 apples left. I'm like, right, what am I going to do with these? So most of them I've chopped into wedge shapes and frozen, but I may defrost them at a later point and use them to make more of this apple bread, because I'm really liking this apple bread. But 3 of those 15, I decided to do a trial and an experiment. So let's find out how that turned out. So what I did is I chopped the apples into tiny wedges, just like as if I was making potato chips, fries in the air fryer. I used a bit of Fry Light oil cooking spray, and it's like a sunflower or olive oil. And I also used a wee sprinkling of cinnamon. I stuck them in the air fryer on the max for 10 minutes. And then what I did is I've just mixed in a little bit of butter and a little bit of brown sugar and a wee bit more cinnamon. So let's see how this tastes. I thought in autumn or winter, if I'm looking for a really decadent hot pudding, that could be really good. And again, with a wee bit of cream or custard or ice cream or something, it could be amazing. Let's see how it tastes. Oh my gosh, so delicious. So those wedgie things, the sauce, the bread, all very happy with those. They're all really excellent. Delish, would definitely recommend. The muffins, no, they're not really great. And those ring things aren't really the greatest. But there you go. 55 apples done in 5 different ways. And it's also a recipe for making you sick and tired of apples for a while. Thanks for watching, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon on Frugalfull. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.